Welcome to Golden Software's demonstration video for Surfer 9 Part 9. In this demonstration, I'll be covering the topic of working with base maps. Base maps in Surfer are very important for displaying information on your maps, such as roads, well locations, section and township lines, aerial photographs, etc. You can import any number of files as base maps. The file will import in real-world map coordinates, according to the file, so you can overlay it with your other map layers. Surfer is compatible with many different types of base map files, such as DXF, shape, E00, georeferenced image files, and BLN files. To import a base map file, go to Map, New, Base Map. Select the base map file you want to open. For this example, I'll select centralcalifornia.gsi, which is included in the Surfer Samples folder in versions 9.8 and above. After the file is selected, click Open. The base map is imported. In the Object Manager, I can see the map object, which contains one map layer, called Base. I'll go to View Fit to Window so we can see the map a little bit more clearly. The GSI file I chose to import is in UTM coordinates, and so the map has the same UTM coordinates on the X and Y axes. The units for the coordinates are in meters. I can click the plus button to the left of the base layer to expand this group. You can see all the individual components of the file that I imported. In this example, the base layer contains the counties in Central California as polygons, and it contains one georeferenced image in the background. Once a file is imported as a base map, you can edit, remove, and add individual items to the base layer. Editing items in a base layer is easy to do in Surfer. You have the option of changing the properties for all the items at once. For example, to change the line style for all the polygons in this base layer at once, double-click on Base in the Object Manager. In the Map Base Properties dialog, click on the Line button, or whichever button you wish to change the properties of, and change the properties. For example, I'll click on the Color button and change the line color from black to yellow. I'll also increase the line width and click OK. Click OK to see the changes. You can also change the properties of each individual item in a base map by simply double-clicking on it in the Plot window or in the Object Manager. I'll double-click on this polygon. Make the changes you desire to the polygon properties. For example, I'll choose a fill pattern. I'll change the foreground color to purple, and I'll change the background opacity value to 0%. Opacity is the amount of transparency applied to the color. 100% opacity means that the color is opaque, and 0% opacity means that the color is completely transparent. So my fill pattern will have a solid purple foreground color with a transparent background. Click OK to see the changes. You can see that the polygon is now filled with my selected properties. You can remove items simply by selecting them in the Plot window and pressing the Delete key on the keyboard. This filled polygon is already selected, as indicated by the small cyan selection circles. I'll simply press Delete on the keyboard, and the polygon is deleted. You can also reshape polylines and polygons in a base map. This is useful if objects in the base map file were not originally drawn correctly, or if they needed to be slightly adjusted. In this case, I probably wouldn't want to actually reshape the counties of California, but I'll do so to exemplify how to reshape objects. I'll first zoom in a bit closer to the map by clicking on the Zoom In tool and clicking on the map. I'll press Escape on the keyboard to exit zoom mode. Select the object you want to reshape. I'll click on this object to select it. Then go to Edit, Reshape. When you enter into reshape mode, all the vertices that make up the polyline or polygon are visible as small blue squares. This way, you can select any vertex and move it to a new location, to make changes to the shape of the object. If you want to reshape another object, simply click on that object to reshape it. Press the Escape key on the keyboard to exit Reshape mode. I'll go back to View Fit to Window so we can see the entire map again. More advanced editing, such as adding items, selecting multiple items, or copying and pasting items, requires you to enter the base layer group. Entering the base group allows you to perform more functions on the individual components of that base map. To enter the group, right-click over Base in the Object Manager and go to Enter Group. Now you can add additional items to the base map, such as text labels, lines, or polygons. To add more items to the base layer, simply use the commands under the Draw menu. For example, I'll go to Draw Text, click in the plot window where I want the text to be located, type in my new text label, and click OK. The text is now part of the base map in the plot window, and I can see the text under the base layer in the Object Manager. I'll press Escape on the keyboard to exit Draw mode. You can also select multiple items at once to change their properties. This is useful if you want to change the properties of multiple items, but not all the items in the base map, and changing them individually would be too tedious. Click on the first item you want to select. When you're entered in the base map group, selected objects are indicated in the plot window by white selection boxes connected with a blue bounding box line. Then you can either hold the Shift key down and click on the last item you want to select, which will also select all the intervening items, or you can hold the Control key down and select multiple non-contiguous items. When you select multiple items, the bounding box in the plot window expands as each item is added to the selection. For example, there's only one bounding box for all the selected polygons in the plot window. Once the polygons are selected, right-click and go to Properties. Make the edits you want. I'll go to the Line tab and change the color from yellow to orange, and click OK. You can see that all the polygons I selected now have an orange line color. You can also move objects in a base map. If some objects are overlapping or not placed correctly, you can simply select an object, such as the text label I created, and drag it to a new location. You can also copy and paste items in a base layer. Select an item either in the plot window or in the Object Manager. Go to Edit, Copy, and Edit, Paste. The pasted item will be pasted right on top of the original item, so all you have to do is click and drag the new item to the correct location on the map. When you're done with your changes, you can exit the base map group by right-clicking over Base and going to Exit Group. This concludes my demonstration of working with base maps in Surfer 9.